All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have a treat for you today. I'm going to go over my Mark 18. And yes, I know we have seen Mark 18 videos for a long time, but I'm going to show you mine because this is personal to me. And this was one of my first guns. And you know what? I might have done it a little bit differently than everybody else has. So stay tuned and see if you like what I've done. Not much else to say about that. Here we go. All right, guys, so we've got the Mark 18 here, and a couple parts and pieces that may look familiar, but may look a little bit different to you. First things first, I am going to clear the rifle for you. I've already done it but I'll just show it on camera. I've got my one-round magazines here, just for information's sake. And then we're going to clear this, check the chamber. We are good to go. Magazine is empty. There's not one bullet in here, even though it can only hold one. All right. One of my first guns that I ever bought. And I remember my friends playing around with Mark 18s, and I wanted one. So I decided to go down the rabbit hole of searching for a good deal, and I ended up buying the complete upper from a friend who hadn't used it yet, and he sold it to me for a very good price, and it was brand new. This is the RIS2 quad rail version in FDE, and it is the Daniel Defense Mark 18 complete upper with a bolt carrier group and the charging handle. The lower is going to be Palmetto State Armory's stealth lower. Got it on a great sale. It was a blem, and honestly, at the time, like I was kind of in a more budget mindset as far as building my rifles go, but the lowers perform phenomenally. A lower is a lower. It's made of good material, and it has done the job. So let's go over this from... yeah, we'll do tip to butt. We'll do tip to butt in the theme of Grand Thumb. First thing you'll notice here is this beautiful gold tinted suppressor. So Rexcelentium, their MG7 suppressor that they had on sale during Black Friday a couple years ago. I almost paid more money for the tax stamp than I did the suppressor. It was like 35-40% off, and it was very cheap at the time, 4 or 5 years ago. The thing is rugged and durable and reliable, and it's simple, and it's just what I needed. Going back on it, if I do the system again, a flow-through suppressor would probably be better because this system is so freaking overgassed. A flow-through suppressor would definitely benefit it. But the suppressor setup, it's attached to a Q Plan B hub device, and then it also has a cherry bomb for the muzzle. Allow me to take this off to show you for a moment because certain people don't want you to see me unscrewing something. Stand by. And we're back. Rexcelentium. Plan B muzzle device by Q. The colors match. Works great. Cherry bomb. It's got a nice black tint to it now with that carbon on it. Beautiful locking system. Very secure. I've actually started using it on almost all of my suppressor systems, and it is a solid and very reliable mounting solution. And I don't find myself it ever getting carbon locked, unlike some other systems that I have from like Silencer Co. Not that they're a bad system. This one's a lot more reliable. So let me put this back on before I get in trouble. And we're back again. Now, suppressor system, very nice, beefy baffles, thick, very wide, and the suppression on this for 223.556 is phenomenal. And also, if you watch their burn down videos of this, like this suppressor is made to handle some stuff, and that's exactly what the purpose of this build was. I didn't touch on that in the beginning, but the purpose of this build was to be a very durable, very rugged, very reliable system, and that's what I went with. The flashlight is going to be a Streamlight ProTac, and this was on sale at Amazon 5 years ago for like 80 bucks, 90 bucks, and it came with the pressure pad. At the time, I was more budget mindset. I had more of a budget mindset, and so this actually worked out in my favor. And to be honest with you, the flashlight performs phenomenally. If you look at reviews and you look at what a lot of people say, Streamlight is not a doo-doo brand. This is a great brand to have as far as flashlights go. And in the future, or if I had done it again, you know, with the money, I would buy a Surefire, obviously, but this is going to be just fine, and honestly, I don't plan on changing it because I like the nostalgic of my first build. So if I do it again, I'll probably just buy another one and start from scratch. But pressure pad integrated onto the top here. The rail scales just to provide a little extra protection. Originally, the Daniel Defense Mark 18 rail comes with their rubber little rail protection pads, but I switched it out for these rail scales. They're a little bit better in my opinion. And then below it here, we've got the BCM vertical grip. This is an SBR. I have SBR'd it, so I can have all these items on here, but you have the vertical grip here. Tango down is another popular option, but I'm just a fan of the BCMs. Nothing you haven't really seen before, I don't think. And then over here, I have a Magpul QD Sling socket. There is one integrated into the side of the rail, but because... Actually, no, there isn't. My bad. I apologize. Don't listen to me. There is not one integrated in the side of the rail. So the Magpul QD socket, anti-rotational, added that, and then let's go into our optic setup here. Now, the popular combination seems to be EOTech and EOTech magnifiers. Nothing wrong with that. I have them, and I tried it on this gun. But this was the first system that I bought together. Again, on Amazon. I think I got it on sale for like $350 for both. $400 maybe. At the time, prices were a little bit better. This was also pre-COVID. So the system itself, phenomenal. And I've tried to compare it against the EOTech. The EOTech is a holographic sight. However, this is a, open emitter. It's a projection onto glass, essentially. So it's a little bit different as far as the operating system. But when I present this rifle and when I actuate it, the shroud, there is a protective shroud over it. However, it's just so much thinner. It's less bulky than the EOTech. And when I'm looking down my optic with both my eyes open, I'm able to see more of my environment, and it's just so thin and crisp. It is such an easy reticle to acquire. It is very clean, and I went with the red option. You can go with the green as well. There's a solar panel in here, just in case your battery goes down. You still can use the optic, but when you're using solar, it is not as bright as with a battery, but it is functional. The other thing I like about these is quick detach levers, both on the magnifier and the optic itself. I like quick detach levers because if you're in a situation where your optics go down, you're able to throw them off quickly. If you have backup iron sights, which I don't, need your help on that. Not sure which backup iron sights I want to go with, but if you need your backup iron sights, they could either A, co-witness with the optic, meaning that you flip them up or they're fixed in a place where you can see the iron sights through the optic. What if your glass shatters and you can't see anything through it? Quick detach lever, throw the optic off, put it in your dump pouch, whatever, and you have your iron sights. So magnifier, very clean for a $200 magnifier. This thing is very, very, very clear as far as the glass, and it is it's got a very decent amount of eye relief. I actually find this magnifier to have slightly more eye relief than the EOTech, and statistically, I might be off, I might be wrong, but looking through the EOTech magnifier or the Holosun magnifier, I just find it is superior to a lot of other magnifiers I've tried out. So that's the optic setup. I'm just going to keep moving back. The charging handle is the Daniel Defense ambidextrous charging handle. I don't see any reason to swap it out. The only thing you might consider would be doing a Radiant SD to help with the gas, but honestly, there's so much gas going through this system that I don't think that thing's going to help very much. So I would just stick with this charging handle. I got a great grip on it, and it's worked just fine for me. Daniel Defense bolt carrier group. Moving into the lower, we're going to have a couple different options that you might not see very often. Most people go with a Geisley trigger. I love Geisley triggers. I've used a lot of them. However, Timney, at the time, I was interested in their triggers. I had used a couple of their alpha triggers on my Glock, and I was interested in their rifle triggers. So this is their flat face trigger, about 3.5 pounds pull weight, and it's just a drop-in trigger system, and I paired it with their ambidextrous 45-degree safety lever. Now, I got a good deal on it, and, pulling the trigger, there is no take-up whatsoever. It is literally just a firm wall, and then bam, it goes through. Oh, sorry. Reset, super short. It is honestly very similar to the Geisley Dynamic 3-gun trigger, the single stage one. This is a phenomenal trigger. And if you haven't heard of Timney, I would definitely take a look at them. Their price points are very fair and very respectable. And I do like their triggers, and I've used them in a couple of my rifles. So I'm keeping it in there. I'm not replacing it with a Geisley. I do love Geisleys, and I've been buying them moving forward with all my gun builds. But this Timney trigger, I'm used to it when I pick up this gun, and I love it. The safety selector, compared to a Radian, I have been buying Radians for all my guns. However, this Timney safety selector is phenomenal. It's just not as firm as the Radian. The Radian has a very positive, very firm tactile click. This one feels a little bit more loose, a little bit more, loosey-goosey. And it works great, and I like that it's so easy to actuate, and I don't have a problem with it. If I'm running it on my plate carrier, I was wondering if by hitting it on something if it would flip, like if my plate carrier or my equipment would flip it. It has not, and I don't think it would. It's still got enough rigidity to where I don't think that'll accidentally happen. However, it is a little bit on the looser side, so keep that in mind. But for their safety option, like, I find it to be very nice. But with the Radian system, like, the Radians are kind of the gold standard, to be honest with you. So keep that in mind, but the Timney selection is awesome. The B5 Systems grip, I like to have, originally I just had a Magpul grip on it, and it had a little bit more of a canted angle backwards. It was hurting my wrist a lot. I found out through this process over the last couple of years that I work better with grips that are straighter, more vertical, so that it doesn't hurt my wrist as much. And then I also present the firearm a little bit better. It's a little more comfortable for me. So we have that. The stock. So this is just the B5 the B5 SOTMOD stock, I believe, or the B5 Systems regular rifle stock. This is the smaller one. I did not want to go with the larger one because, and that's what everyone usually runs, is the larger one. But when I was using it on my Haley Strategic Thorax, my plate carrier, I was finding that it was too much. It was getting in the way, and it does provide a little bit of a better cheek rest, but the thinner stock for me actually works better and serves its purpose very well. So I chose the smaller option without the side storage, and it's also a little bit lighter weight. The B5 SOTMOD enhanced stock, the larger one, it's pretty heavy. And then seated underneath it here, we've got ourselves a nice H3 buffer weight with the Geisley spring. Geisley springs are nice. The normal springs are okay, but the braided Geisley springs are quite phenomenal. How many more times can I say springs in the next 10 seconds? Spring, 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 spring. Yeah. So, Sling. Sorry, my bad. Let's go over the Sling. Now, at the time, Warrior Poet came out with this Sling. He launched it, and it was really cool. I wanted to give it a try. I thought the bungee system and the quick detach pull lever here, the magnetic quick detach pull lever, was so awesome to be able to take this thing on and off. However, after learning about firearms and learning about products that work and don't work, why do I need to take my Sling? Why do I need the selling point of the Sling to be the removal of it? If I'm wearing my rifle and I'm in a bad situation, the last thing I want is for my Sling to have an easier way to come off. And this just doesn't really make any sense to me now. Like, if I need to take my rifle off, like, I don't need to do it fast. If I'm taking my rifle off of me, I'm not in an emergency situation. I don't need to pull this and quickly remove it. The other problem that is it's magnetic, and there is sediment that builds up on these magnetic spots. I mean, I'm going to wipe some off right now and put it on my finger and show you. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but I just wiped off, some minerals that are magnetized to this Sling, and it will come off easier. And I don't want that. So I'm not trying to hate on this Sling, but let's do a small Warrior Poet Society Sling here. It's not practical for my use cases. I would rather go with a Magpul MS234 Sling or a Blue Force Gear Sling. Magpul slings are slept on. Those things are phenomenal. The MS2, 3s, and 4s, go try them out. Sorry, I digress. The bungee system, though, is great. I do like this bungee system. It does allow for manipulation of the rifle while it's on my plate carrier to be a little bit more fluid. I do like that. But again, this quick detach system, just not for me. That's all. I've got a QD'd into 2 points, and that's all there is to it. All right, guys, kind of wrapping up the Mark 18 build. Again, I just wanted to share this with you. This was built to be one of my first rifles, and I haven't changed it much since I purchased it. And the purpose was to have a duty, firm and rugged and reliable and just absolutely rugged design. When I think of that, when I use those terms like durability and reliable, I think of that scene from Lone Survivor where like Mark Wahlberg and his other cast are just tumbling off the rocks and falling down the mountain. That's kind of when I think of like, oh, I want a absolute bulletproof, dirty, rifle or optic or whatever. That's what I'm thinking. Can I fall off the side of this cliff and have this weapon still be intact and functional? Do I have that with this? Close. The rifle itself, yes. The accessories are where it might fail, but the rifle itself, absolutely. The Sling, definitely not. That thing's coming off as soon as I roll. one time. As soon as I do a 360-degree turn, this thing's coming off. So wouldn't recommend that. But other than that, I'm a big fan, and I like the rifle. And I hope this kind of helped explain my purposes behind it. And I got to show and tell maybe a little bit of a different way to build a Mark 18. I didn't talk about this. I had the Call of Duty Ghost emblem engraved on the side. Would I do that again? Nope, sure wouldn't. But it's pretty cool, and it's a part of my growing career in this hobby. So, anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. Let me know your opinions on my Mark 18 setup, and let me know how you've had your Mark 18 set up. So thanks for joining, and until next time, stay cool.